Welcome to this video here. I'm going to show you how to tie the brown drake. So this is a brown drake cripple, just like the green drake, but with a few differences. Obviously the color, and then we're going to build it just a little bit different. So we're going to start with the same tail. Just this black emerger yarn here. Don't need much. About that much is great there. Just going to tie this a little bit forward. Alright, and then I'm going to tie in the foam. And for the brown drake, generally we're going to keep the body a lot thinner. The brown drake's a lot more slender of a bug than the green drake is. And so this piece of foam here, it's a little bit of a thinner cut. So I'm going to tie that in onto the back. I'll center it a little more there. Give it a little stretch and just kind of minimize the bulk there. Go a little further back than that. Alright, and then I'm going to just kind of even out the body a little bit here with that thread. And we can do the rest with the dubbing. Alright, and then I'm going to start the dubbing just from the back and work forward. And again, I'm going to keep this pretty slender. So this is a fine dubbing, finer dry fly dubbing. It's a bit long, so I might have to kind of break it up a little bit. We're just going to keep the dubbing pretty slight on the thread, just little bits at a time. And kind of avoid the more coarse amounts that I was showing you on the green drake. This is a real light dubbing. Brown drakes have kind of an interesting I guess coloration to them. They've got sort of a lighter colored underside, and then the top of their abdomen is that more kind of brownish darker color. And so that's what we're going to try and imitate here, but there's also kind of some speckling, some striping going on, and so we're going to wrap this dubbing forward, and then I'll actually take the thread. That's why we have kind of some darker brown thread with this fly, and we're gonna wrap back kind of over this light dubbing with the darker thread. And I'll show what I'm talking about here in a second. So we'll just wrap this forward. I'm just going to kind of break this apart here like that. Getting just a little bit thicker as we move forward to give it a little bit of a taper. I'll do just a little bit more there. Alright, and then how we like to tie this one is I'm going to pull this foam over now, tie it down, and then I'm actually going to wrap over the foam. So we're kind of doing two things at once here. We're slimming down the body just to give it a slimmer profile, but also kind of creating some kind of color variation along the bottom with this darker thread. So I'll show you what I mean here. I'm just going to wrap back sort of like this, And there doesn't have to be much rhyme or reason to this. In fact, a little bit of randomness is probably a good thing. So we'll just kind of go back up, kind of go back down one more time, maybe a few wraps this time, and then back toward the front. And as you can see, that just kind of cinches that foam down. And we have that kind of darker top and lighter bottom. I'm going to give this tail just a little trim here. It's bugging me how long it is. Give that kind of an irregular cut. Alright. And then we'll tie in the yarn. And we're going to double up, just like the green drake, so just take about twice of the length that you're going to need, about that there. Cut it, and then cut it in half. And double it up on itself like this. Just tie that on. Tie that all the way back to where we stopped the abdomen there. And then tie it forward, almost to the eye of the fly, but not quite. That right there is great. Even this out a little bit. I'm going to trim this rear section here, like that. And just like the green drake, this is a cripple style pattern, so it's imitating a mayfly that's kind of emerging and stuck, and trout key in on that sort of profile because they know that the bug's not going to fly away. So we've got the yarn coming forward like that, and then we're going to take the hackle and wrap that in between here. So I'll take our hackle here. I'm just going to trim off a few of these fibers off the front so that thread has somewhere to grab. And this tan grizzly is a really great color imitation for brown drake. They can be kind of difficult to imitate. Got a few different colors going on, but it seems like a pretty good color. This fly is just like the green drake cripple. It's fooled some big fish and some picky fish during brown drake hatches. So I'm going to bring the thread forward and kind of park it right there. Just make as many wraps in here as I can. Wrap it back over itself even. Alright, that's great. I'm going to bring it forward just to this corner between the yarn and the eye of the hook there where the thread's sitting. Cinch that down there. Give one last pull to the hackle just to get it tightened down. And I'll just wrap in front. I'll do one more wrap behind the hackle. And some more wraps in front there. Alright. Then I'll whip finish right here at the front. I'll trim that yarn about right there is great. And then I'm going to make a cut at the bottom here in this hackle, just kind of spread it out a little bit. I'm just going to make kind of a V cut here at the bottom so that fly sits top side up on the water. And then we'll come back in here and trim some of these strays. Make things a little easier for the next step. Come back here and start the thread again, about right there. One thread wrap in front, one behind. Get that started again right there. And we'll tie these rubber legs. So make a tie in right there on this side. And I'll just bring this around. Do the same thing on the other side. Just make a few wraps to kind of widen that space a little bit. Give that a cut and see how it's doing. That's looking pretty good. Just straighten these out a little bit. And then I'm going to whip finish right there. Just stay in between those legs. Perfect. And some of the tackle got trapped in here, so I'm just going to take the tip of my scissors and pull those out. Like that. Give those legs one last trim. Something like that. And then last quick step here is I'm just going to put some glue on that last little piece of thread that we tied the legs in with. Put some just kind of right where those legs and the thread meet. Just to hold everything in place there. And there's the brown drake. Really great brown drake imitation. We've taken inspiration from a couple different really effective patterns and built this one for you. So if you're fishing a brown drake hatch, this might be the only one you need.